All right. So, my name's Kyle Coburn. Joining me is Levi Thompson. We are going to be giving our presentation on New York City Airbnb and crime data. So we put together, first of all, a little dashboard showing all the Airbnb locations in New York City. Over here, you can see the average price. This will update depending on what selections you set in. So if, for example, you wanted to just see Manhattan, you can click over here and look at only Manhattan. Obviously, it's going to be a tad bit more expensive. Meanwhile, Brooklyn is going to be a bit cheaper. Queens, much cheaper. Bronx, so on. You can also, if you want to get more specific, you can say, I want to look real cheap. I want to look for a shared room. And so there's going to be more limited, but you can also see the average price per day is much lower. And then the other functionality we added was you can kind of set whatever price you're willing to pay. So as a college student, we'd say from 0 to 75 per night, and you could see your options from there. The other thing you can do, we found as we were looking, some of the most expensive areas are obviously going to be right downtown, close to Central Park. We found here was kind of a hot spot. We tried to find the most expensive average price per night, and right there was one hot spot, as well as right over here, 330. And then meanwhile, we also analyzed the crime data from New York. We got from the Open Data website.
Yep. So this is all the crime that we have collected through New York. We've kind of separated it into a couple different graphs. So the first one we have by race, and then we have by gender, and then we also have by age group. And this is an interactive thing. So if we wanted to look at all the males, we can click on that. And the graphs kind of switch over and see that for males, we have 44,000 drugs and other things. And if we wanted to reset that and check out the females, we see how it then goes more towards assault instead of drugs. So, and then we can drill down further into that. And if we want to say female Hispanics, we can then drill further down and see what the age group for them is and the different type of accounts that happen. And so this is really interactive. You can kind of look, and then if we also wanted to, if you're going to compare your dashboard for your price, you can go down in the bottom right hand corner. There's the areas, and we can switch. If we're going to look in the Manhattans, we can see just all the crimes that happened in Manhattan and see kind of what those stats are. And as you can see, they're kind of just even throughout the whole thing. But that's an ability that we have to then drill through and find out more information. The next slide, we are able to place that geographically. So this is better for when you're trying to look at your Airbnb data and you're trying to find the hot spots for crime and what crime it is versus where you're going to stay. So like we did before, we can have it go and filter through male and female on the bottom left-hand corner. And if we just wanted to look at one, yeah, we can go through one and the other. And then if we wanted to highlight an area, we can also then go and look to see what the average crime is in a certain area. And then another thing that we have with the availability is we can look at all the felonies or all the misdemeanors. So yeah, as you can see, we can kind of filter through and look at the different felonies that they have there. And then as we also have it, we can filter by race and see what the location is. So that's also very interesting.
We didn't, as far as like stories, we did notice there was definitely a correlation between kind of like our more expensive areas, which was right around here, and a lack of crime. It wasn't perfect because there were also expensive areas. All of downtown Manhattan is going to be expensive, as well as high crime, just because of the population density. But kind of the nicer areas of downtown where we were looking were lower crime. So we thought that was interesting, especially low felony in this area. Another just fun little bit of, we wanted to look around in our data was popular names of the Airbnb hosts. What you see some like pretty common ones: Michael, David, John, Alex, Sarah. There were two outliers we found in Sonder and Blue Ground, which obviously don't show up on many popular baby name lists. So we looked further and we added the host ID to the color, and that tells a different story. Someone registered as Sonder has 327 Airbnb locations. Same with Blue Ground with 224. All the other names are a lot more diverse. And so that was just a fun little thing we saw. So overall, it was an interesting experience seeing how things correlated between Airbnb prices and locations, and being able to filter down and find specific areas that we might be interested at a certain price. We both really enjoyed working on this project. So thanks for tuning into our presentation.
All right, thank you.